Hey, hey. You guys like them? How do you like these shoes? I like them quite a bit. Nice legs. That wasn't what I was showing, guys. But I know, but not wasn't what I'm showing. I'm showing my Rejuvenates. I like them quite. Nike Crocs. I like them quite a bit. How much? Only $70. Not bad, honestly. Guys, I gotta come clean about something. Jaw fine, nice. I was just literally about to talk about that. So we did a big portion of the show last Wednesday talking about how does it not show that I'm live? I'm on my other YouTube account and I don't. Interesting. We do MLB power rankings? No. I went on, I talked about how, kind of been in this like rut, if you will. Kind of just like haven't really struggling to really care about basketball lately the way that I'd want. I almost feel like doing that and in saying that lifted like something off of like a burden, right? it was almost like it was like a burden lifted off, and now I kind of feel locked back in. It was almost like I just needed to come to grips with it, and now I'm good. Because I'm feeling good today. I watched a lot of basketball over the last 48 hours. Like, you know, maybe I just needed to come to grips with, hey, you know what? Maybe it's okay to feel it this way a little bit. Right? Maybe it's okay to feel it. And now we can just sort of move on. I had to start a little bit late today. Had some phone calls. 2-0 in softball last night. I mean, we're putting together quite the stretch. I mean, new league. We went up in competition level. Everybody on the team has responded. And I think that's, as one of the leaders of the team, if not maybe the leader of the team, that's what we've come to expect out of our guys. You know, top to bottom. Contributions from the top of the order through the bottom of the order. You know, selflessness. We've got 13 people on any given night. Only 10 can play in the field. People willing to sit on the bench. People, you know, willing to maybe play in a position they're not comfortable with. That's the team sacrifice that's required to win a championship in slow pitch softball. And you're starting to see that from our group. And you know, why am I doing this here? Oh! So that's, you know, as a group, that's what we're all about. We're all about selflessness. We're all about playing together as a team, and you can feel it in the locker room. The camaraderie's high. The vibes are high. You know, we play for each other. And more importantly than that, we play for the city on the front of our shirt. That city is a vodka distillery that sponsors our team. We play for them because they've paid us to. But we play for them and not the name on the back of our jersey, even though there are no names on the back of our jerseys. But you get where I'm coming from. It's metaphorical. Let's lock the hell in and have a great Friday. So I was watching a guy play this on TikTok live, not this week's. Like this was or today's. This was a couple days ago, and it was like the endless one. It popped up on my TikTok live, hilariously enough, and he kept using this word right here to start every single time. So that's what we're gonna start doing. We're gonna cheat the system a little bit with this word. All right, off to a fucking hot start. Off to a hot start. I mean, yay. Let's go with a. There not being an E at the end is kind of difficult for me. What could this word end with? No S either. That was an awful guess, huh? That was an awful guess, but it was the first word that came into my mind. All right. Probe, prod, proof. That feels good. Well, this feels like an embarrassment's incoming. I have to be honest with you. Oh, brick. Okay. What? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I had to, that the series in which we got those letters had to happen in that way, or I would not have guessed that. No, I did not cheat. I did not cheat. Amazing performance, though. I agree. Let's knock out connections. We've struggled recently with this. And I'm in my own head big time on connections. I played it yesterday and it was fucking stupid yesterday. So I'm really in my own head. God. I can't wait to be done with these fucking shit coffee pods, man. And when life gives you adversity, you have to persevere. This is a good life lesson for us. Adversity is going to happen in life, and you have to push through it. Okay, it's what makes you. It's what defines you. All right, always. Adversity is good. Adversity molds us into who we are as human beings. And when you get shit Nespresso coffee pods like this, and I love you, Nespresso, but these are not it. I mean, these are not it. You just got to persevere. Jesus, man. All right. All right. Harmony, balance. Feels like those could be potentially interlinked here. Intertwined. Difference. Drive. Park. Just thinking that could maybe be options when you're driving a car. We don't have a neutral. We don't have a two-wheel drive. We don't have a... I have a funny story, actually. I'll tell it in a bit. Actually, I'll just tell it right now. I'm not looking at the chat because I don't want to get spoiled. But when I was younger, my dad picked me up from school once. We had this small-ass little truck, two-seater, Toyota Tacoma, 2001, two-seater. I was sitting in the passenger seat. You know, there's not a lot of room in there. I'm probably 14 years old. I don't know. He's like in the little median area about to turn. And I felt my elbow hit something, hit the little, the shift. I felt it hit something and I go, Dad, I think I shifted. He goes, what? So I think I shifted. He goes, what the hell are you talking about? And then tries to pull out. we were neutral two-wheel drive and we're just spinning in the median. Just, he thought I said I shitted. So a lot of confusion going on there. All right. Stadium, park, field. Stadium, park, field. Diamond? Ways to talk about a baseball field. Stadium, park, diamond, field. Yep. Okay. We needed that first one. Remainder. I'm telling you guys, I'm really in my own head here because they've been really fucking stupid lately. They've been really stupid. Ink. What could ink be? Put it in ink. No. Bay Area. Bay Area trade. I still think balance and harmony feel like they have to be together. Ride, drive, spin, cruise. I mean, this could be an option right here. Let's go for a spin. Let's go for a cruise. Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a drive. Like that. Those have to be. Okay. That one is easy. Difference, remainder, balance, rest. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right. Harmony, trade, Inc., Bay. I don't know what these four are. Companies with the E removed. Are you out of your fucking mind? eBay, eHarmony, E-Ink. I don't know what E-Ink is. E-Trade. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your actual mind? Like, that's the type of shit right there. Just got back from vacation in New Orleans. Highly recommend. Oh, brother, I've been in New Orleans a bunch. You got to tell me. I used to terrorize those streets when I was younger. Actually, not really. There's really nothing you can do there, at least from a Bourbon Street perspective. Hold on a second. There's nothing you can do in NOLA to terrorize those streets. So I used to walk on Bourbon naked. No, I didn't. But you see naked people on Bourbon, and it's just a thing you see. You know, like it's just there's snakes on Bourbon Street. Like it's anything goes. But it is a really nice. It is a really nice. When I was younger, Uncle Status has never been more laminated. Look, it is what it is, bro. I'm not going to Bourbon Street. Well, I'll never say never, I guess. But at this point in time, I'm not going to Bourbon Street at this juncture, right, in my life. I do feel like I have reached the kind of cutoff point where I feel like there's early, late teens, early to mid 20s. You kind of have carte blanche, do whatever the fuck you want and be a little bit wild. And then it just kind of reaches a point where you got to lock in a little bit. And then around 45 to 50, maybe you become an empty nester, whatever the case may be. Then you're given carte blanche again to do whatever the fuck you want. But you just got to lock in for this little 20-year period here. Really lock in. What's up, Unc? You hooping this weekend? I have plans this weekend, but I don't know what the plans are specifically. I really have to figure that out. But I mean, we'll see. I play it by ear, all of this shit. I don't hoop at the level I used to. One of my plans was, one of my New Year's goals was I wanted to hoop at least 2 or 3 times a week. That's not happening, unfortunately. I've been going to the gym every day, but the problem is one of our local gyms got closed. I'm not sure why, but it closed down. So every other gym is getting the refugees of that gym, and now it's just jam-packed all the time. Like, it's just one of those situations. There's 20 to 25 people any given night, and it's unplayable. It's really a shame what's happened to it. It's really a shame. I'm excited to talk some basketball today, man. I'm excited to talk some basketball today. So let's get into it. That's what happens when the fan base actually cares about the team. Oh, are you guys having an argument in the chat? Basketball in North Texas is gone in the shitter. I mean, there was a nice situation we had. We had like 3 gyms within probably a 10-mile radius. So everyone was kind of spread out, and you got good runs. Like, you'd get 5s, you'd get 5 on 5, and there'd be like 12, 13 people there. Like, it'd be perfect, right? Like, you'd get competitive runs in. Maybe you'd sit for a little bit, but outside of that, you're good. But it's just reached a point now where you lose one game and you might as well just hang it up. You might as well just retire. So, where's your favorite place to travel in the U.S.? So the last 2 years, weirdly enough, I've gone up to the East Coast. A couple years ago, I went to Maine, Bar Harbor, and Portland, Maine. Really pretty areas. Last year, I went to Boston for a week. I like the Northeast, especially in the summertime. I like the Northeast quite a bit. I haven't traveled out west in a really long time, honestly. But Oklahoma was probably my favorite place to travel. I put on this Tigers White Sox game, and they've got a pregame guy doing shots out in the tailgate area. That's what it's all about right there. Oh, he's doing a pull straight out of a Patron handle. This is what it's all about right here. This is what it's all about. They can show this on TV. I went to the Northeast in 2022, and it was super nice. I need to go back to Boston. I usually go to New York City, New Jersey, and Las Vegas with a splash of LA from time to time. Oh, man. All right, let's get going. You know what I want to do this weekend, actually? I want to watch Minecraft movie. It looks almost so bad that it's good. And I do kind of want to see it. We're also working on hats, guys, and I don't want to show you guys the details, and I don't want to share the details with you guys because I don't want you guys to rip it off. Like, I don't. But we're gonna change the world. We're gonna change the world with these hats. You thought the world was changed when they put Dallas upside down on a hat? You haven't even begun to see the world changing yet. You thought whenever they put Dallas upside down. Taking my nephew watching tomorrow. Don't really know much about Minecraft. Do you guys have the upside down Dallas hats? I got to be real with you. Not my thing. Paul, the $2 changed the world with hats. That's a very that's very Kindle from Succession coded right there. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Fucking hats. Praise. I have a couple. I get quite a bit of hate. Really? People hate you for wearing them? The unblocked Slightly shirts were world changing. That's a good point. So that was my thing. I always thought putting a logo upside down is a disrespectful thing. I always thought, right? Mavs fan with the $9.99. Slightly, how do you feel about D-Live and AD offensively and defensively? I really forgot how important of an offensive hub D-Live was, and I just want your opinion on it. Love your content, bro. Thank you very much, Mavs fan. I'll tell you what. Let's circle back to this in a bit. All right, we're going to start the show. I'll talk about the Mavericks. I'll talk about the Mavericks later in the show, and we will most certainly talk about that, King. Is that okay? Sully's hat idea is just denim hat with Christian Wood on it, by the way, he told me. All right, you're getting sued. You signed an NDA. Let's go. Good morning, folks. It's Friday, April 4th, 11:11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make a wish. Okay, I made my wish. The world is forever going to be different after that, by the way. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Let's get into it today. We have a lot to talk about. We had one of, I think, a very interesting matchup, and a matchup last night that could very easily be a first-round matchup, depending on how these things sort of shake out. But it does seem as though, Warriors-Lakers round one is a real possibility. Though both of those teams, as it stands right now, if the season were to end today, that would be a first-round matchup. 4-5 matchup out west. We'll talk a little bit about that game. What can we take away from that game? We'll look a little bit at the playoff and play-in picture, of course. Ja Morant, big game last night, game winner, finger guns. He's been fined. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Anthony Edwards, I was a little bit worried last night because the Anthony Edwards stuff, one of those injuries where if Ant ends up spraining that ankle really bad and has to miss a few weeks and maybe it goes into the playoffs, like, we're really kind of looking at it, and it's Jordy Fernandez, unfortunately. Bad situation to be in, but Ant came back and played, so I think we're good there in that game against the Nets. And, we've got a good amount of stuff. So also, Tyrese Maxey's been shut down. We know Zion was shut down earlier in the season. Larry Market never plays. Tanking's gotten a little out of control, and I just got a couple of things that I feel strongly about. Not that I really care about tanking, but I care about, I think it's time to cut this shit out, truthfully. I think this last month of the season needs to be cut the fuck out. I've come to that conclusion, actually. I had never been on the, let's cut the season short, because I've always loved basketball. I'm like, 82 games, the more the better. This year has really turned into, okay, let's wind it down. We don't need to be having all of this. We'll also talk a little bit about the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks. Whoa, but I want to start here. But if last month is cut out, won't teams tank a month earlier? Yeah, but I just think we don't need 82 games where 30 of them are tanking. Like, let's just do 72 games, and the amount of games tanked will be shorter, right? It'll be lesser. Let's start here. you guys know I can't go a stream without talking about my Oklahoma City Thunder. I want to talk here about NBA U's post that I saw today. The Oklahoma City Thunder, we're kind of monitoring this situation right here. They've got a few difficult games left on their schedule. Obviously, no games in which they won't be the favorite in. But they are currently sitting at 64-12 with 6 games left on their schedule. If they were to win 6 straight games, I don't need to tell you this, they do the math. That's 70 wins. That's 70 wins. That puts them in very rarefied air. What is it? Only 2 teams have won 70 games, right? The Warriors and the Bulls. That's it. They would become the 3rd team ever to win 70 games in a season. It's very much on the table. And their 2 big lineup, Chet and Hartenstein, 15-2 when they play. They got a plus 14 net rating. I thought this was interesting. NBA U tweeting out their most commonly used lineups. I mean, just look at this shit, guys. Squiggly, 28 months, slightly Thunder. You're right. Just look at this. Look at the Thunder's most played 5-man lineups. You've got Shea, Casey Wallace, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Hartenstein, their most played lineup, plus 14. You've got Shea, Dort, J-Dub, Chet, Hartenstein, the double big lineup. That's their second most played lineup. That lineup's fucking disgusting. 298 minutes, plus 17. Shea, Casey Wallace, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Chet, plus 21 and 198 possessions, not minutes, sorry. 198 possessions. Shea, Dort, Aaron Wiggins, J-Dub, Hartenstein, plus 35. Shea, Joe, Dort, J-Dub, Hartenstein, plus 12. Plus 12 is their worst lineup out of these. And then you have this lineup right here, I think, is really interesting. Going small with Shea, Casey Wallace, Joe, Dort, and J-Dub as the 5, plus 29 and 125 possessions. Can't really imagine too many scenarios where they're tapping into that in like a playoff setting. But man, oh man. I mean, this is... I'm sorry. I really don't... I don't see a pathway to them losing. I don't. Before the finals, at the very least. I don't see it. We continue to harp on it, but it continues to be true for me. I mean, look at this. This is like eviscerating teams. That's the thing. If the Thunder had 64 wins and they were winning close games and they are shitting on teams, man. They are eviscerating their opponents. They're destroying them. Would love OKC to absolutely smack the Lakers. Dog, I wouldn't even consider picking the Lakers in a series against the Thunder. I'm sorry. I just wouldn't do it. Double Shea and let J-Dub beat you. I mean, that's what teams will probably try to do. Will he be up to the call of duty? That is the question at hand. Lakers wouldn't win a game, I don't think. You know what? I will not pick the Lakers to get swept in any series. I think just out of respect for Luka and LeBron, I'd probably just go 6 in any series. I pick against the Lakers. I'd probably just immediately go 6. Like, let's just say Luka has a pop-off game. Luka and LeBron and Reeves have pop-off games. Respect for Luka has fallen off. Yeah, but even if Luka's in a compromised state, which he was in the playoffs last year with that knee injury and all the other injuries he was battling with, even when Luka's in a compromised state, I think you're going to get a couple of games where it's like, oh, shit. Like, oh shit. Lakers only beat Rockets at Memphis. I mean, this goes back to, I don't know, like the Western Conference playoffs, I do not know. It's going to be very matchup dependent, and any team can make the conference finals. I feel very confident the Thunder will be in the conference finals. Any other team can make it. I don't know who it's going to be. Literally anyone. So they really watched Lucas shit on this same bum Thunder team, and now his trick so easily. Now, this is not the same Thunder team at all. It's not the same Thunder team. They are very different. And then also, on top of that, the Mavs were almost built in a lab last year to beat the Thunder in their current form. I do not think last year's Mavs team, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I do not think last year's Mavs team beats this year's Thunder team. I'm sorry to say. I don't think they do. I've just got to be honest. I don't think they do. And let's segue. Let's segue that into this. The game last night, Lakers and Warriors, really entertaining game. I mean, I don't get it. Either this is what it's going to be like moving forward in the NBA, but really all sports, where the Peepaws and Paps are playing into their late 30s, and it's just high-level basketball from them forever. And if that's going to be the case, we absolutely need expansion teams. Because if guys are just going to play until they're 37, 38 at a high level, we need expansion teams immediately. Or if this is just kind of this rare breed of NBA players, this rare crop of old guys, where LeBron's still doing it, Steph's still doing it, KD obviously still playing at a high level. I mean, how old is Draymond at this point? 35? Yeah, 35 years old. He's still playing some of his best basketball. Like, I don't know if this is just kind of a rare. We need an Unk League. Yeah, I don't know if this is just kind of like a rare crop, or if this is something to expect moving forward. I would have to say, with the way that medicine and the way that all of this stuff has sort of progressed, that maybe we are at this point where 35, 36, 37-year-olds are playing at an incredibly high level. So let's talk about this Warriors-Lakers game. Steph Curry was incredible in this game, 37 points. LeBron, 33 points on only 10 made shots. Reeves had 31. How many of those were at the end of the game? I mean, the end of this game was nuts with the exchange of threes that was happening when it felt like the Warriors were just, all right, this game's over. Maybe we empty benches here. Austin Reeves was like, no, buddy. We're going crazy. We're going crazy. Don't let RFK ruin LeBron's longevity. That's what I've been saying for a long time now. 3-in-1 thicker, fuller hair Hims. Hey, Hims, I don't need this ad. I don't know if you see the beautiful set of hair I have on me. I don't need this ad. Thank you, though. Just a waste of ad space for them. I should email them. This was a waste of your ad revenue, of your ad budget. Sorry. So let's talk about this matchup. Because if the season were to end today, the Warriors and the Lakers would be playing in a round one series. And yeah, I think that came on your ad algorithm because of your age. I think if, that's what the NBA would want. Can you imagine a Warriors-Lakers playoff series at this point? I mean, that's appointment viewing. That's everybody stop what you're doing and get to a fucking TV. Like, that's Adam Silver salivating at the thought of this. And honestly, as a fan of the NBA, I'm salivating at the thought of this because I think this would be a really, really fun series for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, you have the narratives, you have the storylines, LeBron versus Steph, the Lakers versus the Warriors, this sort of old guard playing at the same time as really the new guard, right? Because Luka's still here, and I think there's definitely a world in which the torch gets passed to Luka. Now that Luka's on the Lakers, I think he could be the face of the league in the next 5 or so years. And I do think this would be a very fun and competitive Luka versus Porzingis. I do think this would be a very fun and competitive basketball series. Like, I think it would be really good. Who would I pick in this series off the top of my head? I don't know. I feel like after last night, I would lean Warriors only because I feel like this feels similar to how the 2022 conference finals kind of feels to me, right? And I do think this Lakers team is better than that Mavericks team was. And this isn't the same Warriors team, obviously. But, I don't think this Warriors team can win a finals. And that team went on to win the finals. But similar in the fact that I feel like the way the Warriors play, all of the motion, all of the cutting, all of the off-ball screens, you have to be so locked in defensively from the start of the game to the end of the game. You cannot fall asleep. They're going to crash the boards. You cannot... You have to put a body on a guy, crashing the boards for a rebound. It's and now you add Jimmy Butler into that mix. I feel like it's kind of a difficult matchup for this Lakers team defensively. I think there's just too many guys on the court at any given time defensively who could either be hunted by a really, really smart offense or who have the propensity to sort of fall asleep defensively at times, give up a backdoor cut, not box out a guy who's crashing for a rebound. I think that that's definitely something that could happen, right? And could trip up this Lakers team. And, if the Lakers had, I don't know, if the Lakers got Mark Williams, I don't know if Mark Williams is like saving their franchise, honestly. But if the Lakers got a Mark Williams or had a better big, I would definitely feel differently about them just because the Lakers in this matchup should be able to dominate the size department. But Jackson Hayes, I thought was not very good last night. And I think that puts you in I don't know how much I can. Jackson Hayes, there was a play in the second half. I forgot who Jackson Hayes fouled. But somebody, was at the elbow, a little up fake. Jackson Hayes jumps directly into him, gets called for a foul, and he was incredulous. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that he got called for a foul for jumping into a guy. And it infuriated me. It made me so upset. Because I was like, are you out of your fucking mind that you're arguing that foul call? Like, look, I get being upset at the refs. I understand that. That's cool. And that's the one you're arguing. Can you get serious for a tiny second? Please. And I think there's a level to this Warriors team now. I'm still waiting to see. Jimmy Butler had 11 points in this game. If we were just to look at Jimmy Butler's game logs, we haven't really seen Jimmy. And this was a frustration point for Warriors fans a little bit, I noticed, was the games that Steph missed. It was like, all right, Jimmy, now's your time. And he didn't really ramp it up the way that you would have wanted him to. There's got to be, and why I'm kind of hesitant to be super in on the Warriors making like a really deep run. There's going to be games and series where it's like, okay, Jimmy, you need to average 23 points. You need to average 23 points in this series if we have a chance to win. We know what Steph's going to do. We're playing a defense that might try their hardest to take Steph out the equation. You need to be aggressive. You need to score 23 points per game this series, or else we're not going to win it. And I don't know. I like so far this season, even going back to when he was on the Heat, I don't know if we've seen that. I don't know if we've seen that quite yet. But if Pod's is playing like this team can go really far. I mean, 8 of 10 from three is insane, obviously. The Warriors were red hot from three, but if you're getting like real positive shit out of Pods, which you could, he's a very up and down player, but if he's heating up at the right time and he's hot during the playoffs, that changes things quite a bit for the Warriors. Obviously, Kuminga's back, and I thought he was really good in this game. I've never really been a huge Kuminga guy, but I kind of like it now that Jimmy's here, and it's just kind of like, okay, Kuminga, you're coming off the bench. It was when Kuminga was in this sort of weird limbo, I didn't necessarily love it. But Kuminga coming off the bench, I like quite a bit. Warriors are 19-2 with Jimmy. That's actually insane. And that's not true. They've lost at least 3 times. I'm looking at his game log right now. Is there a chance we saw the prime of Luka in Dallas? He just isn't the same. He's never efficient or has a good performance against a good defense with the Lakers. Okay, so let's get to the Lakers side of this game. And yes, the Luka side, which this was a bad Luka game. This was a frustrating Luka game for me. This is one of those games where if this happened on the Mavericks, I'd probably get in trouble for stuff I said afterwards. Defensively, look, for me personally, I don't care. Luka, there was a clip going around, kind of went viral. Luka got cooked by Steph Curry. A really disgusting move by Steph. I don't give a fuck about that stuff. Like, obviously, yeah, it sucks, but that's going to happen. Like, that doesn't matter at all to me. An all-time great offensive player, Steph Curry, cooked, Luka Doncic. So what? That doesn't matter to me. That's not the stuff I care about. And honestly, I didn't even really think Luka was that bad defensively last night, although he did have a few lapses, as I mentioned earlier, a few lapses where a guy beat him on a backdoor cut, or he didn't rotate where he was supposed to, or he didn't put a body on a guy crashing the glass. I mean, you gave up 14 offensive rebounds in this game as a team. That's not good enough with your size advantage that the Warriors have, or the Lakers have. I do think that defensively, this is a matchup that would not be great for him, honestly. But offensively, giving up 2 points doesn't matter to you. I mean, it does. Don't get me wrong, but like, that's going to happen, man. The Warriors score 120. Teams score 120 points a game. Like, you're going to give up 2 points over the course of a game. Luka getting cooked one-on-one, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you can look at this matchup and be like, man, they're going to hunt Luka, and Luka just can't guard Steph. It's like not something he's going to do, right? Like that just kind of goes with the package. It's the falling asleep defensively, maybe a little slow to get back, although I thought it wasn't that bad in last night's game, to be fair. It's all of that stuff that is inexcusable and has to be cut out, especially when you're going up against a Warriors team that's constant. And two, I don't think this Lakers team is on par with the Thunder. I don't think this Lakers team's on par with like the Cavs or the Celtics if they were to go that far. So if you want to beat those teams, you pretty much have to play perfect. Like you pretty much have to play a perfect brand of basketball as a team, and those possessions could hurt you really badly. Really, really badly. And look, I don't want to just put Luka like by himself here. Like LeBron has those moments defensively as well. Austin Reeves is not a good defender, although I wouldn't say he's like a horrific defender. He's not a good defender. All of those guys are guilty of those things. Do you think Luka looks healthy? No, Luka's not going to be healthy all season. Luka's not going to be 100% Luka. And he struggled shooting, and he's now having this sort of, his three-point shot looked like it was, he had a stretch where his three-point shot couldn't miss. And over the last 4 or 5 games, it's sort of abandoned him again. Last 4 games, 20% from 3 on 8.5 attempts a game. He's 38% from the field over here. It's these prolonged stretches this year more than any other year in Luka's career, probably outside of his rookie year. If I had to guess, it feels like we've had these stretches of just really like longer stretches of inefficient play. Like you're gonna have games where you don't hit shots. That's whatever, right? That's cool. That happens. But it feels like this year we've had these 3, 4, 5 game stretches of really inefficient shooting that I feel like you just haven't really seen. And what it is, and you could go back. I did a whole thing earlier in the season when he was still on the Mavs. What it is he settling? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, hey, I came into the season with a calf injury. I wasn't ready to go. Then I got another calf injury. It's just been a weird season for me. I'm not where I want to be physically, which it would be understandable. I'm not where I want to be physically. I can't get to the spots I really want to get to. Because we know Luka at his best. Relentless getting to the rim. You can't stop him, right? Plays at his own pace. He'll slow step you to death. He'll just big body you. He'll back you down in the post, whatever the case may be. When Luka wants to get to a spot, he'll get to a spot. That really hasn't been the case this year, right? When he gets to a spot still around the rim, he still finishes, around the rim at an incredibly high rate. When he gets to a spot on the block, it feels like he's still finishing those little hook shots, the little jump hooks, the fadeaways right around the rim, right around the block, 6, 7, 8 feet away from the basket. Feels like he's still hitting those at an incredibly high clip. But the little elbow game, the stuff a couple years ago that we saw him develop, where it was like, holy shit. Like when Luka, that 2021 season, when Luka just started busting out that mid-range game, and it was around the elbow. He started to hit those little, step back elbow jumpers, the little fadeaways around the elbow, the little pull-up jumpers coming off of a screen around the elbow. When he started getting into that, it was like, oh, shit. Like, what's about to happen here? And I don't think it was a secret that after that got here, he led the league in scoring and was the best scorer in the NBA. You don't really feel that this year, Doesn't really get to his spot. I'm going full schizo, but I think all the injury, lack of training shifted his fat to muscle percentage too far in an unathletic spectrum. I mean, if I were just to look at Luka's shot diet, what would it tell me? Would I be surprised by it at all? So 42% of his shots this season are mid-range shots. That is the lowest since 2020 season. And again, 2021, this is when he just decided, I'm a mid-range guy. And I'm incredible at it, right? Wait, is this field goal percentage? Oh, this is field goal percentage, my bad. His mid-range attempts are the lowest since 2020. His three-point attempts are the second highest of his career, only trailing last season. But a little bit more concerning, his shots at the rim are the lowest of his career by a comfortable margin. And maybe what is a bit of an alarming trend, if you wanted to call it that, is the 2 lowest seasons of his career with attempts at the rim are these last 2 years. It was definitely something that we were monitoring. It's definitely something that we have been, kind of noticing. right? Like it doesn't feel like Luka gets to his spots as easily as he used to. It doesn't feel like Luka's as aggressive getting downhill as much as he used to. And it does feel like, yeah, at times Luka kind of is over reliant on this 3-point jumper that, I mean, to his credit, he's turned into a very elite 3-point shooter, but can come and go. Maybe because of injuries. Yeah, it's very possible it's because of injuries. Absolutely. But last night was one of these frustrating games because it did feel like he settled, and he was pissed off at the refs and spent a good chunk of time offensively foul baiting and grifting. And this is one of the most frustrating parts of Luka for me. Foul baiting and grifting and taking himself out of offensive possessions at times because he's so adamant that he's going to draw a foul and force you to blow the whistle. And like, that's the stuff that's just really annoying to me. You know, that's the stuff that really does frustrate me. Because it's just, man, can we get this out of your fucking game, please? I know you're a maniacal competitor. I get all of that, right? I mean, when he got teed up. I don't think the Lakers are going to win this game at any point. But he got teed up at kind of a critical juncture. Fouled Steph Curry. Definitely thought it was a foul. But, you know, foul Steph Curry on a three-pointer, whatever. Like, that's Steph's in nearly impossible cover. I'm not going to shit on Luka for not being able to guard Steph Curry. Like, of course, you could look at it and be like, man, in a series, like they're gonna want that every single time. Okay, cool. But definitely fouled him on that 3-point attempt by Steph. And then, like, you could just see in his eyes how pissed off he was. Got teed up. Like, he was livid. He was seeing red. He might have blacked out. He was so mad at the refs. But then the next time down the floor, what did you think Luka was going to do? What did you think he was going to do next time down the floor? Goes to a step back three. Griffs does get fouled. Horrible foul by, who was it? Who fouled him? Guy Santos. Horrible foul. Goes to a step back three. He does get the foul call, though. But he went, like, you could just tell, he went into that possession saying, I'm going to get fouled on a 3-point jumper here because I'm fucking pissed. He doesn't have a good relationship with the refs because he whines every time. I think the Lakers medical staff knows more about more issues than they are letting on. Like, if he had damage to his legs, do you think we would have known by now? I mean, I definitely think a bunch of players have stuff we don't know about. But, yeah, I mean, he probably does have lower body stuff. Are you saying, is there like maybe potential long-term lingering stuff? I don't know. Am I the only one who thinks the Lakers should try to avoid the Warriors in the first round? Warriors getting hot at the right time. They seem scary. It's kind of this interesting thing in the West with how close the standings are that, you know, I don't think you're in any position to try and be dropping games to avoid people because, like, the Lakers are a game and a half out of a playing spot. Luka foul baiting equals not okay. SGA foul baiting equals okay. All right. Does Shea foul bait? Yes. Is it baked into his game? Absolutely. Does he grift? Absolutely. I think the difference is, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think the difference is Luka will take himself out of plays and will completely and totally derail a 3 to 4 minute stretch because he is hell-bent on getting a whistle because he's mad at the refs. Okay? That's a difference between Shea foul baiting. Like, that's the difference. When Luka's going and clicking and he's grifting because guys are jumping at every single up fake he's doing, that's perfectly fine for me. Like, that type of grifting is cool. I'm cool with that. When defenders are shading over and they're playing in the gaps and Luka reads that and he does that patented low dribble pickup and guys are reaching, hand in the cookie jar, and he gets that low dribble pickup into a floater and one, which we've seen him just a signature Luka move, really it is. That's cool. I'm cool with that. When Luka's mad at the refs and it's go time, I'm now going to spend the next 3 minutes foul baiting and screaming at you, that's the bad times, okay? That's the bad times. Luka gets hit and doesn't get those calls. SGA gets those. I'm sorry. I've been like so frustrated with this narrative because I don't know what games you guys have been watching lately. Luka's been going to the free throw line at such a high clip lately. Such a high clip. I don't see what you guys are seeing. But again, I'll say it's what I've been saying, and this is just true. This is just a consistent truth in the NBA. If you are a physical player who initiates contact a lot of the time, who plays through contact, you're not going to get the same whistle as a shifty, more crafty guy. That's just the reality. Look at Luka, look at Jokic, look at LeBron. These guys who play very physically, absorb contact, initiate contact, are stronger guys. They don't get the same whistle. That's just the truth. But anyways, I think Cavs beat Celtics. I think it's possible, but I wouldn't pick them. Anyways, this was a really interesting game. Tells us a lot. Reeves has been playing out of his fucking mind. And I was kind of thinking this, and it wouldn't happen, but the All-NBA stuff, I'd have to sit down and look at who qualifies and who doesn't qualify. Who qualifies, who doesn't qualify. Bubba with the 6. Hey, slightly, could you maybe look at Luka's stats when paired alongside LeBron? Because it feels like they're so much worse than usual. Sure. Where do I go for that type of stuff? Just check odds, and Draymond looks locked to be Defensive Player of the Year. Your thoughts? Defensive Player of the Year is so difficult. I have to be honest with you. I went such a decent stretch without really paying like hard attention to the league. Like, you know, I went weeks without watching certain teams. So I feel like I might be the wrong person to ask here, if I'm just being honest with you. Defensive Player of the Year is funny because there's no stats. Like, nobody has time to watch all 30 teams, let's be honest. There's no stats. There's no, you know, when it comes to MVP and stuff like that, you can look at EPM and stuff like that and sort of get a good idea as to what your choice should be and stuff like that. But defense, you can't tell defense by stats. And so a lot of time, I think voters just need somebody to tell them who they should be voting for. And that's why the Cry campaign works so well. That's why the Cry campaign works so well for Defensive Player of the Year. We saw the Boston Media Mafia do this with Marcus Smart a couple years ago. Cry, 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 cry. Voters like, okay, fuck, whatever. Put, boom. Marcus Smart gets Defensive Player of the Year. Jaren Jackson Jr. Hey, I think I should be Defensive Player of the Year. Everyone, okay, fine, sure. Draymond, you know, Wemby was cruising to winning Defensive Player of the Year, obviously. Misses the rest of the season, not qualified. Okay, who's it going to be? Draymond? I think it should be me. Cry, 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 cry. Everybody, okay, cool. Sure, yeah, Draymond. Draymond has been really good defensively, though. Absolutely. But here's what I'm saying, though. Like, you got to cry. If you want to win Defensive Player of the Year, you have to cry. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Dort, so it's interesting because I've heard it. You had Bill Simmons say that he would vote Dort. You had Wendy, I think, also said that he would vote Dort. Don't sleep on that. What's Dort's odds? Because those are two like fairly influential media people. I feel like if Zach Lowe came out tomorrow and did his awards and had Dort winning Defensive Player of the Year, I think that would be a pretty solid shift. Draymond versus Dort. Can you imagine if Dort won it? Here's the on-off numbers with LeBron and Luka. It is pretty interesting. You'd have to look at who's playing. You'd have to look at who's playing, but and just in game, who the team's playing. How do I get this shit off the screen? Okay, in games that they're playing, they're negative when they're both on the floor together. They're negative when it's just LeBron. They are an overwhelming positive when it's just Luka, and they are negative when both of them are off the court. Which I mean, isn't really a surprise, I guess. LeBron is just a negative player. The on-off stuff with LeBron is weird this year, but the eye test does not back it up whatsoever. Now let's look at Wowie team stats. Is this it? Okay, I don't know what the fuck this is. There's a way that you can look at it. On-off player stats. Whenever I was really locked in, I used to be able to just churn this out super quickly. All right, Luka. Let's just go Luka. Let's go true shooting percentage. Let's just see. So Luka, 450 minutes with LeBron James, 350 minutes without. With LeBron, 56% true shooting. Without, 57. So a difference there. Man, he has not been. This one is interesting to me. The attempt rate, the 3-point attempt rate. So Luka's attempting far more threes when LeBron's off the court versus when he's on it, which does make sense to me. Let's look at the usage numbers. Luka's usage numbers. 41% usage for Luka when LeBron's off the court. Holy shit. I guess that makes sense because a lot of the Lakers rotations are LeBron and Reeves are off the court. So it is Luka by himself, basically. So that does make some sense to me. Wow, look at this, guys. We've cracked the case. Bronny James, usage with LeBron, 27 without 21. I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. Hey, just being a good dad. That's all. Just being a good dad. There's actually a lot of like really interesting shot quality. I don't really know how I think shot quality is just a mixture of threes and rim shots, right? Like, I don't know what like league average is on that, so I don't know what we're really looking at. Points per 100 possessions. I mean, Luka, the production when LeBron's off the court for Lucas is sky high. But I guess that's kind of to be expected. 47 points per 100 possessions when he's off versus 29 when he's on. I don't know how much that realistically tells us. Like, of course, when LeBron's off the floor, because we also saw it's not like as though Luke has been like uber efficient. It's just his usage rate skyrockets. I don't know how much of that. I really don't know how much of that matters, if I'm being honest with you. Like, of course, when LeBron's on the court, you're going to put the ball in LeBron's hands. Like, I see too much was just like, just let Luka run the show. It's like, that's not how it fucking works, man. Okay? That's not how it works. And we know that. We've done this. We've done this. I just want to see shot attempts. Is this not an option? I just want to see shot attempts. Am I missing it? I know usage ties into that, but I feel like that's one that they're really missing out. Really missing out on. All right. Well, interesting numbers. I mean, again, it's that stuff is sort of misleading, I would say, because again, Luka's out there without LeBron and Reeves. So of course, naturally, he's going to his usage is going to skyrocket. But that is interesting. The usage goes up that much. Should I go to the Ranger game tonight? Yeah, sure. Do you remember what the on-off stats were when Kyrie first joined? I mean, we can go back and look. Dallas, 22-23, boom, Kyrie Irving. Let's look at it. Luka. Yeah, I mean, Luka averaged 39 points per 100 possessions with Kyrie. That duo was just perfect together. It was. I mean, it was like a match made in heaven in a lot of ways. Luka's usage went up, obviously, without Kyrie, but it wasn't like a ginormous shift. Now, I'm interested to see what that number is for Kyrie, because obviously they would stagger him, but that's not really how Kyrie operates. Kyrie's usage, yeah, goes up a little tiny bit. And this was when they first got together. Let's see what it was last year. So Kyrie sort of came into his own and took a bigger mantle when Luka was off the floor versus the more kind of deferring he did when he first got there. And sort of similar numbers for Luka. Those were the days. Those were the days, my friend. Those were the days. Yeah, they definitely got to figure out, I think, some way to even this out. You know? Because, I mean, this is kind of crazy. This difference. 14 percentage points different when LeBron's on versus LeBron's off for Luka. And I guess let's change this to where we're going like decent leverage here and not just blowout games. Still 13 percentage points. How about very high leverage? What factors in a very high leverage? Only 2 minutes. High and very high. I mean, we're talking about such minuscule numbers. 23 minutes versus 5 minutes. In 23 high leverage minutes, Luka has a 25% usage rate when LeBron's on the court and an 87% usage rate when he's off the court. I don't know what that stat means. And why would LeBron be high leverage? I think they only do when these two guys play. Because I wish I could look at when LeBron is not playing in a game. Because there was that stretch where he missed. 87% usage rate. Jesus. Why is the smoking Cuban always negative? Because negativity sells. Because negativity sells. And look, here's the thing. Like, people don't really care for, like, hey, guys, here's how Klay Thompson coming off dribble handoffs is going to work with AD now. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that. Real Prairie, 2 months on the side, Delusional Club. Dallas built everything around Luka, LA Lakers, not the same. Yeah, that's true. And also, I want to point out something about this game before we move on, because we spent a lot of time on it, but it's important. Dodo 05. This is something I've sort of been mentioning. And I said this at the top. Something similar. When you're playing against teams that are better than you, the Thunder are much better than this Lakers team. You make it to the finals, you're playing the Celtics, much better than this Lakers team. Or even if you're matching up against a team that maybe is a matchup problem for you, like this Warriors team could be a matchup problem for the Lakers, right? You're going up against a team like that, or maybe you're going up against the Nuggets, and hey, you beat the Nuggets, but you know what? Jokic is playing out of his fucking mind. Jokic this series is averaging 38, 18, and 14, something we've never seen before. We got to really lock in. You know, Dodo's an 0-5 Dodo game is the difference between maybe going up 2-1 in a series and falling down 2-1 in a series. A Gabe Vincent 105 3-point shooting game is the difference between winning game 5 on the road and going back home down 3-1. These are things that matter. And that's just also why they have guys that I don't think are very trustworthy yet. You know? And it's just the truth. I don't know why people really think the Lakers would beat this Thunder team. OKC defense will be too much because people want the Thunder to lose. Because it's not very fun to look at the Thunder and be like, this team's not losing in the Western Conference. Like, they're making the finals. People don't want to think that. People want there to be fun, and people want there to be intrigue entering the postseason. And, oh, how can my team make it? How can my team make it? How can this team make it? You know, that's it. Respectfully, why is Dalton Connect not getting minutes? His 3-point shot making can really flip a game for the Lakers in dire times. Because the Lakers are in an interesting predicament where, look, I don't give a fuck what anybody wants to say. Here's the harsh truth, right? Luka, Reeves, and LeBron, those three together, not great defensively. That's just the truth, okay? Now, sure, individually, when they lock in, they can be fine. But the reality is, over the course of 48 minutes, those are three guys you're probably looking at as either neutral to probably below average to bad defenders. That's just the truth, okay? So you have to supplement that with defenders. And Dalton Connect is not that. And I think they've sort of realized there's no way we're counting on Dalton Connect in a playoff game. Foul baiters always pooped themselves in the playoffs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was unbelievably good in the playoffs last year. Just a reminder. Was unbelievably good. Is there something Luka could do realistically that would make him an above-average defender in the next 2 years? think Luka's probably an average or so defender now. Above average. Luka's biggest thing defensively is just locking in permanently. Permanently lock in. SGA didn't. SGA had an incredible playoff series last year. Luka met him at the summit. Luka took that series over at the end, but from beginning to end, Shea was probably the best player in the series. But Luka did take the series over. So anyways, it's interesting. The Lakers play like this, they'll lose in the playoffs. Warriors are dangerous. I still think the Lakers are dangerous. And here's also the thing. It's March, or it's April 4th. You know, I think all these teams want to win because they want to solidify. You don't want to be in the play-in tournament. You want to solidify yourself. You would love to get home court. I mean, the 2 seed's still on the table. Not really for the Lakers anymore. They're 4.5 back, or 3.5 back, I guess. All of these different things are on the table. You want to win. But also at the same time, there's a very good chance you play this Warriors team. Very good chance you play this Warriors team in a playoff series. Very good chance it's round 1. How much do you realistically want to show? You know, it's one of those things where, hey, if we lose this game, so what? We don't want to show them, you know, what our defensive coverages are really going to look like. We don't want to show them some of the counters we have to their defensive schemes. Like, we don't want to show that just yet. That's also something to keep in mind and consider. If Luka gets back to Luka, could that be the difference for a run? Yeah, I mean, if Luka, for sure, yeah. Like, they're not winning the title with Luka playing like this. I don't get how Shea, best player in that series, doesn't hold more negative weight when he lost. Any other superstars being judged for losing, not being good in the series. So I'm going to push back here for a second because I think pretty much every single Mavericks fan would argue, and Luka fan would argue that in those Clippers series the Mavs lost, that Luka was the best player in the series. Am I wrong? Do you believe that? Yes or no? I'm gonna put you in a pickle. Do you believe that? Yes or no? Am I wrong for being mad at Luka? Like, why didn't he start taking his conditioning serious? He had to be traded to start working hard? No, that's fair. I agree with you, but I'm saying overall conversation. Because, I don't know, people watch the games. Like, you can be the best player in a series in a series that your team loses. Like, we've seen it. Although I would argue, I think in the bubble series, Luka was the best player on the floor. Absolutely. 2021, Kawhi was on another fucking level. Kawhi was, Jesus. I mean, Luka was unbelievable. Do not get me wrong. That series had no business going 7 games. So I think because of that, maybe you'd say Luka was the best player in that series. But Kawhi was, holy shit. I mean, that was unreal. And I really do hope Kawhi's healthy for this postseason. I would pray for it. Honestly, I do. Still don't get how you automatically don't lose a lot of extra pounds when you play 40 minutes every other night in the NBA. I mean, there's different reasons. The body's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know. As a newish Luka fan, is this how he is usually? He's such a streaky shooter and lost this game. No, this is why, right? For the last year, if you want to go back and look at videos on the channel, for the last year, we've kind of been like, what's going on with Luka exactly? Like, this is a little strange. It's not how he plays usually. No, it's not how he usually plays. Luka becoming very reliant on his 3-point shot is a somewhat newish development. He's always attempted a lot of threes, don't get me wrong. But it does feel like it's become something that he's become overly reliant on at times. And yes, it does feel like he does not attack as much as we've grown accustomed to throughout the course of his career. Mavs fan with the 499. We watched Luka bust the Clippers' ass from 2020 to 2022. Honestly, that's the Luka I miss. He was so good getting downhill. Yeah, I mean, Luka in those playoff series were just unbelievable. And yes, that is so for the guy in the chat asking about Luka, if this is what Luka's like, no, it's not. And I do think injuries have hindered him. And I hope that he gets healthy over the course of the summer, although there is a summer tournament, Euro Cup, which is one of the bigger ones. So I'd be shocked if Luka takes that off. Go back and look at how thin Luka was in those Clippers series. It's incredible, the difference. I don't like, okay, the thin thing, yeah, I get it. But go back and look at early last season. Luka was still, Luka was bigger looking. I don't want to say fat or chunky, right? The slob. Like, I don't want to say that. Like, that's an unbelievable thing to say. But he was still getting downhill relentlessly. Still unguardable. In the block. Still unguardable. Still got to his spot with ease. It's when he got that knee, when those knee injuries started popping up, and he still put up great stats. But it was different. And it's not as consistently reliable. Does that mean he's cooked? No, absolutely not. And you see how he can still dominate a game. I mean, even in this, I don't even want to say compromised state, but even in the state that he finds himself in right now, where, yeah, he doesn't get to downhill as much as you would want, he still bends the defense. He still draws double teams. He's still a top 2 passer in the world. So what were your thoughts on the Porzingis stint with the Mavs? I have a hard time figuring out if the problem was him or how he was used by Carlisle. Brother. Kristaps Porzingis stint on the Mavs. Let's rehash it. Because you see let me see if I can just find a tweet. You see it from time to time. This tweet would go around. It goes viral. Anytime someone posts it, it's the easiest thing to make it go viral. The Mavericks really fumbled this. The Mavericks really fumbled this bag. I can't believe the Mavericks fumbled this. And it's Luka, Jalen Brunson, and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, of course, the Brunson part is not great. Although I've long said, and you know what? Fuck it. I'll continue to say it. Oh, my God. I looked it up. Oh, my God. I looked it up. Who do you think is the tweet I see? Oh, no. I looked up Mavericks fumbled. I can't believe the one that popped up. Retina. What's his bio? SGA MVP, hashtag Thunder Up. Oh, my God. All right. Just ignore this. Oh, man. Okay. So anyways, it's funny because this is, ignore who's tweeting it. This is a tweet you see every now and then, like an NBA meme account tweet out or some shit, right? Easy. Like Mavericks fumbled, maybe Mavericks fumble. I can't believe the Mavericks fumbled this. Like the Mavericks fumble. Anyways, with KP and Luka and Jalen Brunson. The Jalen Brunson one, obviously. I know the Mavericks just 15-peated. Okay, this is just trolling. It's pretty funny. But yes, this is the picture that always gets used. So anyways, the Brunson one is bad, and I will long say that the Brunson thing had to happen for both parties, I think. The KP one, look, KP in the bubble was unbelievable. That was the vision. KP was second team all bubble. You forget that they did that. But he was unbelievable in the bubble, and that was where it was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is exactly what the Mavericks saw. You're trading for, how old was KP at this time? Like 24 years old? You're trading for this 24-year-old who's just blossoming into this beast. Like, here was his bubble stats. Okay, here were his bubble stats for you. In the regular season bubble games, those 8 games at the end, 30 points per game. 30 points per game. Okay. 38% from 3 on 7 attempts per game to go along with 1.5 blocks per game. He was unbelievable. 9.5 rebounds. And was pretty damn good in that playoff series against the Clippers. Game 1 was a complete and total fucking shit show. He gets ejected for no reason in Game 1. The Mavs could have won that game if KP doesn't get a bullshit, soft-ass ejection in Game 1. Okay? He then scores 23 points in Game 2, 34 points in Game 3. And then what happened? And then what happened? Gets hurt, out for the rest of the series. Mavs had really no chance of winning that series following that. And then what? Then 2021 comes around. And KP spends most of the came into the what injury was he dealing with to start the season? I couldn't remember. Comes into the season after coming off of an injury, has several different stints where he doesn't play, enters the playoffs sort of recovering from an injury, and then in the playoffs, that series, 7-game series against the Clippers, Luka battling his ass off, playing one of the better series you'll ever see a player play. Just needed somebody to join along. Just needed one person to come along for the ride. And you want to know who it was for most of the time? You want to know who followed him? Who was like the only fucking guy who said, all right, Luka, let's go to war together? Tim Hardaway Jr. That's why I will always have some respect for Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. You want to know whose sorry ass didn't? Huh? You want to know whose sorry ass did not come along for the ride? Kristaps Porzingis. 13 points per game in that series. 29% from 3. What's even more sad and pathetic to me? Moping around all fucking game. Couldn't post up Rajon Rondo. Couldn't post up Rajon Rondo. Which, is funny because now he's turned into just this elite, unguardable post player. But couldn't post up Rajon Rondo. Didn't Carlisle tell him just to stand in the corner? Yes, he did. And let's avoid any revisionist history here. He did that because KP was so fucking sorry in this series. Just go space the floor in the corner and cut every now and then. Since your ass can't post up Rajon Rondo. And that was that. And from that moment forward, I said, get rid of this guy, please. This guy cannot be a foundational building block for you moving forward. And I'm happy they did it. There was no KP fumble, okay? The Mavericks did not fumble KP. What is going on here? The Mavericks did not fumble KP. Came into the next season, and I could be wrong, but he entered next season with, what was it, like a face injury? Missed a huge chunk of time in January. No surprise there at all. Then got injured again right before the trade deadline. Mavericks got rid of his ass. Got rid of his ass. He just dropped 30 points. Okay, so then he gets traded, right? He gets traded to the Wizards, does fine on the Wizards, whatever. Then he gets traded to the Celtics. Look, the Celtics are a perfect place for him. Why are the Celtics a perfect place for him? You're wondering. Because he can miss games and it doesn't matter. He can go prolonged stretches of missing games. He can go a 5 to 10 game stretch of just coming back from an injury, working his way back into shape, him maybe not being as efficient as you would want because he's on the fucking Boston Celtics. The Dallas Mavericks were not the Boston Celtics, okay? They traded for him to be the number 2. They traded for him to be a secondary all-star next to Luka. His ass wasn't that, so they got rid of him. And God bless him. All respect to him. He's been great for Boston. I'm happy that he's sort of carved out this career for himself. Don't get me wrong. But I do get annoyed when the KP fumble thing comes around. Because, no, they didn't fumble him. They didn't. They traded for him. They traded a lot to get him. He was supposed to be number 2 next to Luka. His ass couldn't stay on the floor. And the tiny brief glimpse we got in the bubble where it was like, oh my God, like this duo right here, the pick and pop, the pick and roll, KP spacing the floor, posting up mismatches. Then you got Luka posting up mismatches. Like, this is disgusting. He can block shots. Like, this is what we signed up for. Got hurt. And that's that. And that's that. Chili's, catch all the finals action at happy hour. I love when Chili's text me. I haven't ate there in a long time, trying to be healthier. But man, it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel safe. What did Boston give up to get KP? Are you guys prepared to be sickened by this trade? Like, okay, you guys want to say the Boston or Dallas football to KP. I have a question about the Grizzlies, and this is a nice little segue because I do want to talk about John Morant. But the Grizzlies front office, is it time to have a real honest conversation about them? Let me hold off on that for a second. Here was the trade. As part of a 3-team trade, traded by the Washington Wizards to the Boston Celtics. In this trade, the Boston Celtics trade Marcus Smart to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Boston Celtics trade Danilo Gallinari, what the fuck ever, Mike Muscala, what the fuck ever, Julian Phillips, whatever, to the Washington Wizards. The Grizzlies, that's what the Celtics gave up, by the way. That's what the Celtics gave up to get Kristaps Porzingis. The Grizzlies in this trade traded Marcus Sasser, who was a first-round pick in that year's draft. Right? Was Marcus Sasser a first-round pick or a second-round pick? First-round pick in that year's draft. 2024 first-round pick was turned into Bub Carrington. Nice pick. To the Boston Celtics. The Celtics rerouted that. In the Dame trade, or the Drew trade, right? And the Memphis Grizzlies traded Tyus Jones to the Washington Wizards. So the Grizzlies gave up 2 picks and Tyus Jones for Marcus Smart. The Wizards in this trade got next to nothing. Tyus Jones, and they ended up getting this pick in the Drew trade, I believe. Danilo Gallinari is the biggest name he gave up. And I mean, they gave up Marcus Smart. Because at the time, that was a pretty big deal, giving up Marcus Smart. But, I mean, they were a step ahead. They knew Marcus Smart. I mean, how many games has Marcus Smart played since this trade? Like 30? Played 20 games last year, 34 games this year. I mean, it's the fucking Celtics, man. The Celtics. Just masterclass after masterclass, unfortunately. Like, imagine trading Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis, basically, and then turning around and getting Drew Holiday. I mean, my Lord. Who do the Celtics get rid of next season, Drew or KP? Is Drew not the obvious one? I guess maybe KP. I know why this ad popped up right here. And let me just say, it's a hint for the hat. I love how I'm hyping up this hat. This hat is just the most basic hat of all time. It's just funny as hell. Also, not a hat guy. The Mavs will probably be in a potential Drew Holiday sweepstakes for sure. Has Basketball Reference always been this ad heavy? All right, so let's segue into the Grizzlies a little bit. Obviously, a lot of drama surrounding them. Taylor Jenkins getting fired, one of the crazier things. They get a win last night against the Miami Heat, who, to be fair, right, you might hear them be like, ugh, Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have been playing better lately. Obviously, they had that stretch where they were really pathetic, but they've been playing better lately. John Morant was awesome last night, 30 points, including the game winner, real legitimate game winner, buzzer beater, John Morant. I really, really liked his game last night. And obviously, the Grizzlies, I'm just kind of out on, all things considered. But if they were to get John Morant at, around the top 10 player in the league level, that does sort of change things for Ja, right? that does change things for them because they haven't gotten that from him. They haven't gotten that from him this season. Here's the game winner. Just a nasty shot, man. His like body control is unbelievable. It feels like you've got him defended well. It feels like he has no room to operate. His body control is unbelievable. The ability he has to sort of hang in the air. And he did call Khalil Ware a pigeon after this. He said he had a pigeon guarding him. But the ability to hang in the air, get passes off, it is insane to watch. And he's good. He's so good for the league. And I hope that he, one, gets healthy, right? And can kind of find a way to consistently stay healthy. Also, two, get to a headspace where he's consistently locked in and consistently, relentlessly attacking and playing like one of the best players in the world, which he is. Because he hasn't done that at times this year. You want to blame Taylor Jenkins, whatever, that's fine. But, yeah, I hope he gets there because he's great for the league. He's incredibly fun to watch. And the Grizzlies are obviously a legitimately scary contending team if he's playing at that level. If he's not playing at that level, they have no chance. That's just the reality. Because they got to have a guy like that. I mean, this was just a nasty-ass move, man, with a center on him. That's a 6'1", 6'2" guard. Going right at his center. Little bump fade. Shooter's bounce, for sure. Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Now, unfortunately, what do you make of Bane? I like Desmond Bane quite a bit. I know he had a rough game last night, but his hand ability at the rim reminds me of D-Rose Prime. Yeah, he's just an unbelievable finisher at the rim, and his explosiveness is out of control. Show the Abella Danger angle? What's the Abella Danger angle? Anyways, unfortunately, if you were to, which I did, search Ja Morant, because I just wanted to show you guys how sick of a game winner this was. If you search Ja Morant on Twitter, unfortunately, I had to scroll all the way down. As you can see right here, I had to scroll all the way down. She was at the game. Okay, good for her. I had to scroll all the way down because the talk is the Ja Morant gun celebration. I have two approaches to this. One, I have a boomer approach, and two, I have a softy approach. Boomer approach number one, I hate the gun celebrations in sports. Okay. I do. I hate them. I think they're dumb. I think they're stupid. Like, I get it. Let me say, the gun celebrations, right? So, actually, I saw a tweet here because LeBron one popped up. This one right here, I don't mind this at all. One, LeBron's the GOAT, right? LeBron, he could do no wrong in my eyes, right? But also, I think there's a difference in this. Like, hey, I've got that thing on me. That three-point shot, boom, locked and loaded. That's a different type of celebration for me, and I don't mind that celebration. Same way I don't mind, Dwayne Wade got in trouble for it at the time, but a lot of people did it. The throat cut celebration. I like that. Is it violent? Yes, but it's sort of metaphorical. This one, boom, I'm locked and loaded. I've got that thing on me. The throat cut celebration. It's over. It's done. We killed him. That's fine. Okay. I don't like how sports have now been overtaken by like straight up gun celebrations that have turned into like, beyond something like this, have turned into I'm shooting you. Like those ones to me, and maybe I'm old. Like maybe I am. Maybe this is a sign of my age. Maybe I am old. But those are a little excessive in my opinion, to be honest with you. Those are a little excessive. Or it's like, all right, let's tone it down just a tiny bit. Okay? Because it's not like we're living in a country where, it's like we're living in a country where there's not a lot of gun violence. Like the gun violence is a little out of control in this country. So let's maybe tone it down just a tiny bit. You know what I mean? Pretending to drone strike a player is next. That's true. Can Raytheon sponsor something like that? If I'm Raytheon and Raytheon's marketing team, I'm sitting down at our board meeting. I'm like, listen, guys, the gun companies are fucking killing us, man. Like athletes are celebrating by shooting each other. How can we get involved? Can we get a drone strike? Maybe somebody pretends to be a drone operator and boom, I just bombed them. Can we get into that equation? So that's probably what's next. That's probably what's next. Here's some other gun celebrations. So that one, yeah. So like putting a gun in a holster, that to me is that's not the same thing. Am I wrong in thinking that? Putting a gun in a holster to me is a completely different celebration. See, like that's crazy. I'm sorry, this is crazy. Like, is that not crazy? I get it's a different thing, and I know this is probably like an age gap thing, but is this not crazy? I mean, is this not a crazy? And I know Scotty Barnes is mocking Mikal Bridges because Mikal Bridges does it too. But then I also, on the other hand, that's my boomer take because I just think these celebrations are stupid to begin with. But then my other take, which is maybe I'm just becoming a bit of a softie. Ja Morant got warned for doing the shooting celebration like this right here. And this is just a montage, I guess, of him doing the celebration, which I guess makes it better. I see Grizzlies fans post these. I guess it does make it better that he does the shooting animation quite a bit. But maybe I'm a bit of a softie, but who really gives a fuck? I mean, everybody's doing it. And I know there might be a history with Ja Morant. I get that. Like, we want him to be one of the faces of the league. Can you please stop doing gun celebrations? Because, you know, it's not like it's kind of subtle, right? You're like this one. Like, this one's reached a point where he's got like a hunting rifle almost, but it's like he's got like a sniper rifle. It's a long gun. But again, everyone's doing it, and it does feel like we're really kind of singling out. I mean, it's kind of a sick celebration, right? But it kind of feels like you're singling them out and drawing attention to it now. Right? Where, look, I mean, here's a montage of him doing it. I hadn't heard it brought up ever. And now you're just kind of, and this is a funny ass tweet. And now you're just kind of drawing attention to it. I mean, I don't know. The NBA never cared about finger gun motions until Ja Morant did it. I think this is a very valid criticism, actually. Oh, I mean, that was egregious. That was egregious. Oh, man. I mean, that was a mass murder situation right there. I know Dyson. So here's the difference, right? I'd pull Dyson Daniels aside if I was Adam Silver, and I'd say, listen, Dyson, I know you're Australian, right? So you're not from America. It's kind of a gray area here. That's a real problem we deal with. Okay. That's like a real significant problem we deal with. Okay. You really can't go anywhere without, in the back of your mind. So, like, can we kind of tone it down a little bit on that? Like, I get it. Like, I know you're not American, but let's tone it down just a little bit. So I do feel like it is a little, I think it's because of Ja's history, but I do think it's a little strange because it has been a thing all year. It's been a thing for a while. Yeah, Ja got fined because his past any other player, nothing would normally happen. I think that is what it is, for sure. $75,000 fine. I don't like this. The first time I saw this, it audibly made me gasp and laugh because I was not expecting it. But I don't know. I don't think it's funny. What about the bazooka emote? Bazooka emote's sick. Because you want to know why? And again, this is my boomer sort of softy side. You want to know why? Because there's not an epidemic of people walking around the street with bazookas blowing people up. You get what I'm saying? Now, I mean, that's such a sick game winner. No, that's true. Not yet. That's probably in the pipeline. Oh, my God. Is this what you guys were talking about? Ja Morant hit the game winner in front of a Bella Danger. Ja Morant has the most game-winning buzzer beaters in the NBA since 2023. Can we, okay, so I'm imagining, best case scenario, I think we're due a great postseason. If Ja Morant just sort of, the last couple of weeks, finds his stride, it is playing around that top 10 level, I mean, I just think the Western Conference playoffs are going to be sick. I do think the Thunder are going to steamroll through it, but I think the other series are just going to be unbelievable. Like, I really don't know. I have no clue who the fuck is going to play in the conference finals. No clue at all. So anyways, my takeaway from the Ja thing is I get it. I get why it's a bad look. You know, and I get with maybe the history of Ja Morant. I get why if you're Adam Silver, you're like, come on, bro, please stop doing this. But also at the same time, everyone does it. You know, like it's an epidemic kind of across the league. The call 12 is sick. I mean, the call 12 is, you know, he did steal it from Maxi Kleba, but it's one of the best celebrations we've got is the call 12 celebration. That one is one of the absolute best ones we have. Ivani, 13 months, never said anything to Jay Terry for the Jet Selly. True. I'm surprised after 9/11 they didn't pull Jason Terry aside and said, hey, man, not now. Way too politically charged. In this climate, to do a Jet celebration, way too politically charged, man. What if Premier League players started doing knife celebrations? Call 12 is a nickname or celebration? No, it's a celebration. This angle, you don't see him do it, but it's like his go-to celebration when he does something clutch. Dalton Connect did it? Man, ain't nobody care about Ja's ignorance around guns. There's players committing domestic violence. I mean, that's also true as well. I mean, that also is just like, I get why they don't want Ja to do it because it's different than Dalton Connect doing it. It just is. The reality is, Dalton Connect's not Ja Morant. Nobody really gives a fuck about Dalton Connect. No offense to him. Like, it's the kind of different Dyson Daniels does it. Nobody really, like, the reality is, nobody's really checking for Dyson Daniels. Ja Morant, they want to be a face of the league. For sure. So I get it. But at the same time, it does feel like you're singling him out in a way that feels a little unfair. So that's the difference. Ja Morant, I was pretty much a villain for 2 years now. Every little thing, if somebody can say something negative about me, it's going to be out there. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Oh, I'm on board for Ja Morant villain arc for sure. I think Ja Morant can be a great villain. But the thing is, though, is he doesn't play like a villain. His play style is too fun and exciting to watch to be a villain. If that makes sense. I just don't understand being worth $200 million. All right, there's some charged verbiage being in here. Let's chill out a little bit. There's some charged verbiage. Let's relax. That is a crazy dog whistle, yes. He just needs to say it's a musket. He's a historical reenactment enthusiast. That would be funny. John Rich is like, look, I love the Revolutionary War, man. It's just like, I've been really into it. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've been watching documentaries. Like, I'm super into it. Maybe if Memphis saw Dylan Brooks, they could be a dynamic villain duo. I hope John Morant's locked in for the playoffs. That would be really fun. Who's your favorite player in the league? Please don't say SGA. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. My favorite player in the league right now is Kyrie. Yes. My favorite player in the league is Kyrie. Favorite Twitter user? D-Live. D-Live's up there. I mean, if we're going non-Mav, I think Luka's obviously still right up there. LeBron's up there. SGA's up there for sure. He is. Anthony Edwards is up there. I mean, I'm a sucker. Ant's up there. Is it not Luka because he got traded or even earlier? I mean, I watch Mavericks games more than any other team. So a Maverick will always be my favorite player in the league. Luka was my favorite player in the league. And that mantle he's been usurped by Kyrie Irving, unfortunately. Jokic is up there. I wouldn't put him in like my top favorite players, honestly. Although I do love watching him. Don't get me wrong. J-Dub. Yeah, J-Dub. I like J-Dub. I like KD. I've actually grown to really respect Tatum, I have to say. I think he's having a great season. Josh Green? No. My favorite player of all time is Dirk, and there's not even a close second to Dirk. Like, honestly, there's a world where I don't even give a fuck about basketball if it's not for Dirk Nowitzki. So Dirk is far and away my favorite all-time player, and it's not even a close race for second place. I did love Melo. I'm assuming you're talking about Carmelo Anthony. Did love Melo. Ron Baker. Clay Anthony early. Those Wichita State teams are kind of nasty. Take SGA out that league effective immediately. I'm sorry to say it. Favorite Dallas athletes ever? I mean, it's Dirk in a tier completely by himself. Completely alone is Dirk Nowitzki number one. Like, if we were doing a tier list, it would be like S tier Dirk Nowitzki. And then you'd have to go down like 6 or 7 tiers until you get into the next tier. Josh Hamilton's had so many interesting off-the-field stuff that I feel kind of weird having him in there. But when Josh Hamilton at his peak absolutely was up there. Michael Young would be my second favorite Dallas athlete ever. Michael Young. With Beltray being there. Jason Terry, obviously. Michael Finley. Josh Howard. You guys know I just had this weird infatuation with Marquise Daniels. Loved him growing up. Your favorite athletes ever are always going to be somebody you grew up with. It's always going to be somebody you grew up with. So, yeah, Tony Romo, absolutely. Dez, absolutely Dez. Love Dez Bryant. Really no defensive players for the Cowboys. That kind of speaks on that, right? Sean Lee. No Madonna love. Just not really a hockey guy, but I love Madonna. Love Shin-Soo Choo, actually. No, honestly, no on Zeke. I have to be honest with you. No on Zeke. Embiid is not on my favorite player list. So I'd probably go Dirk number 1, and if I had to do number 2, I'd go Michael Young. Number 3, probably Adrian Beltre. Then number 4, I think I'd have Romo. That would be like my Mount Rushmore for me. But Jets up there, I feel like I almost have to have Jason Terry. Like, it almost feels blasphemous to not have Jason Terry. Michael Young is absolutely my favorite Ranger. He'd have to be on there. Favorite football player of all time? Like NFL? I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan through Tony Romo. I would have in around 2014. I would have died for Tony. Like literally, I would have died arguing about Tony Romo. We would have argued about Tony Romo, and it would have gotten to the point where violence ensued. I was willing to go that route for Tony Romo. Like I was willing to go there. I would have died about that shit back in 2014. I'm just kidding. I obviously wouldn't have. But I've told you guys this story before, right? 2014 Cowboys-Packers playoffs. Was that 2015? What year did that happen? 2015, wasn't it? Was the game. The 2014-2015 season. The game was 2015. Or was it the 2013-2014 season? The game was 2014. Either way. The Des Cotta game. Probably the most heartbreaking feeling 2014 season. So the 2015, probably the most heartbreaking loss outside of the 2011 World Series for the Rangers, which was the most heartbreak I've ever felt as a sports fan by far. 2011. I would then probably go 06 finals, and then the 2015 game against the Packers. Was watching it at a friend's house. Des caught it. Obviously, we know that. That team, I think, honest to God, could have won the Super Bowl. Could have absolutely won the Super Bowl. I'm watching it at a friend's house. Cowboys lose. I'm inconsolable. I'm so upset. I'm so sad. I'm so frustrated. I'm so mad. I'm feeling so many different emotions. I get in the car. I drive home. As I'm driving, we pass this park. And this is not one of my finer moments, and I am actually quite embarrassed by this, but I did do it, and I have to just live with the fact that I did it. I'm driving past the park. I look, and I see, an older man, a dad, a father, wearing a Packers shirt. Just fucking filled with rage. What else do I see? I see a child, probably the age of about 10, in a Packers jersey, running in this field. I roll down my window and I say, "Fuck you!" And I continue to drive off to a 10-year-old child. Did I feel good about it at the time? No. It's one of those things where I did it and I was just like, I can't believe I just did that. But, it's something that I did. It's something that I did. It felt good to get off your chest. It did. And I hoped I ruined his day. You know what? Now that I'm looking back on it, I'm not sorry. I hope I ruined his day. Straight up. I hope I ruined his day. That kid grew up to be Luka Doncic? Yeah. I mean, you're going to run around in my city with a Packers jersey on? Would I have died for Dirk? Are you out of your mind? Yes. I really need you guys to understand where Dirk ranks in my totem pole. I don't think you guys understand the level Dirk is at. He's like at God level. Somebody could be like, an all-knowing being could come down from the sky and be like, "Dude, what's up?" And I'd be like, "Hey." And he'd be like, "You're not going to believe this shit that I'm about to tell you, but Dirk Nowitzki is actually the creator. Like, Dirk Nowitzki is God. And he just kind of was bored and wanted to play basketball a little bit. But that's really what he does." And I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I see it. I can absolutely see that." Bro, I have a picture of Dirk's face on Jesus Pictures. My Facebook background, is that what it's called? For the longest time was a picture of Dirk when he had the beard. And the caption was, "Dirk scored points for your wins." Hilarious. Hilarious image. I mean, that's what memes were like in 2014. Dirk was a superhero to most of us in the 2000s and 2010s. Yeah, and that's why, when the new age Mavs fans came along and the Luka fans came along, and they would always be like, "Yeah, Luka could be the best player in Mavs history." I'd be like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Or they'd be like, "Luka's the best player of all time." I'd be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, buddy. Buddy. You've got to stop. You've got to stop. Okay?" Does the chip factor into your love for Dirk? I mean, absolutely. I would love Dirk even if he didn't win a chip, but obviously, yes. I mean, that was the Dallas hadn't had a championship since 99 when the Stars won. I mean, that's a decent amount of time for a huge market that has all major sports teams. I had a Wookiee Jesus poster. He flew the Falcon for your sins. But also at the same time, you can't expect, people who were not there to understand what it meant. Because that was, I mean, you can sit here and be like, looking back on it, yeah, it was crazy. But in the moment, it's impossible to explain to people what that truthfully meant in the city of Dallas when Dirk did that. And, I was younger. Like, I wasn't in my 20s, 30s, 40s. I wasn't, like, I hadn't done all the trial and tribulations. Like, I'd gone through the 90s with the Mavs. I'd gone through the horrible 90s era. And, the Dirk. I had experienced the Dirk shortcomings in the playoffs and all that shit. But it was, like, just for, like, a split second, everyone was just so happy. Dirk probably still is. Honestly, does Dirk have the highest approval rating in the city of Dallas out of anybody? He has to, right? I think Dirk is probably the number one athlete in Dallas, Texas. Paul up to $2. 90s Mavs give me PTSD. Yeah, I mean, they're the worst franchise in the league. No, I never went to Mavs camp. I don't think I did, at least. I mean, I went to some basketball camps, but I don't think I ever went to a Mavs one. Those basketball camps where 60 kids are so fucking stupid. I watched us win the finals from my cell in Dallas County Jail. Thank God the guard turned on the TV. I mean, it brought everyone together. Yeah, I was about to say, maybe the Unks, Emmett, or Troy. Maybe, for sure. Emmett did leave and went to Arizona, and I think I vaguely remember that kind of being a big deal. Troy Aikman's pretty up there, obviously, but I still think Dirk is number one. Do you feel the same way about Rick Carlisle? Rick's different. He's the coach. You're obviously going to have different frustrations with a coach than you would a player, but Rick's a legend in my eyes, absolutely. Did you follow Germany during Dirk's time then? Admittedly, no. Admittedly, no. Nolan Ryan, yeah, but I mean, Nolan Ryan was never with the Rangers during his, like, the peak of his superpowers. He spent most of his career elsewhere. Which is kind of weird because I feel like you do kind of, I guess it would depend on who you're asking, but I feel like a lot of Texas people associate Nolan Ryan with the Rangers, but how many years did he even play here? Nolan Ryan spent 5 years. Wait. This can't be right. This can't be right. Nolan Ryan played for 27 years. 27 years. Jesus Christ. And 5 of those were at the Rangers. 5 with the Mets, which is interesting because I would have actually guessed more, but that's where he started his career. 9 with the Astros, 8 with the Angels. And yes, he was 42 years old, 43, 44, 45, and 46 years old as a member of the Rangers. Still, twirling that thing. Still really good. Led the league in strikeouts as a 42-year-old, 43-year-old, but wasn't Nolan Ryan, really. Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young? What are we doing? What was going on back then, huh? What were they doing? How the hell did that guy never win a Cy Young? LeBron could do that. LeBron could play till he's 46. Absolutely. LeBron could play until he's 46. Oh, was I on the Chandler Parsons hype train? Hell yes, I was, brother. Hell yes, I was on the Chandler Parsons hype train. I loved Monte Ellis. What other hype trains was I on? Was always a little bit scared of the Wes Matthews thing. It was on very much on the DeAndre Jordan hype train. You want to know whose hype train I was big on? And I think this guy was maybe a little too ahead of his time. Probably a different looking player in today's NBA. Al-Farouq Aminu. Well, Dennis Smith Jr., yeah. But Al-Farouq Aminu, I was so high on. Probably a little bit ahead of his time, if I had to guess. I was big on Harrison Barnes too. Yeah, I was really excited about that. So I'm looking for your good new Wi-Fi. Any recommendations? Brother, I'm linked up straight to the fucking source itself, right? Like I'm plugged directly into the internet. I don't have an internet provider. I'm just plugged into the internet. My internet's so fast. So I don't know what to tell you. I love Vince Carter. All right. I actually did want to talk briefly about the Mavs. Do you guys want me to talk about the Mavs? Hitting the gym piece, boys. Get your workouts in today. Set a 600 deficit and drink 4 beers tonight for fun. 600 calorie deficit? Let's see what my workout's looking like today. What are we talking about today? We've got posterior chain and cord workout today. Oh God. Romanian deadlifts, glute bridges, hamstring curl, cable pull throughs, back extensions, leg raises, cable crunch, Russian twists, side planks. Oof. So have you switched water brands for your ice bowls you're going today? Yeah, I'm on to Fiji water now. How many calories is 4 beers? Michelob, 400. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. I'm going to be real. I don't really want to talk too much about the Mavs, but I'll answer a donation I got earlier that I said I would get to. D-Live AD, I think the Mavs offense will be a little wonky at times, but I think defensively they'll be good, and having D-Live back can help out tremendously because they do run so much of their offense out of the high post. Jesus Christ, the Mavs are 10.5-point dogs tonight? Damn. Warriors 1.5-point favorites against the Nuggets tonight's kind of interesting. Do I have basketball dumb brain, or has the Mavs defense been mostly bad? Well, the Mavs are just rotating guys in. You think about like integrating a new lineup and stuff. You think about it offensively, but defensively is really, especially when you're adding a piece like Anthony Davis, is really what's going to take some time to get going. And I mean, we still haven't seen, we haven't seen AD, Derek Lively, Gafford, and PJ. We haven't seen that. We've only just seen Lively and Gafford. You know, there's room to grow. But yeah, I do agree that the defense hasn't been unbelievable, which it was the selling point. The Mavs sneak in and vanquish OKC. Are you back in? I mean, dude, if they make the playoffs, I'm rooting for them. I'm only doing that. What team am I rooting for in the playoffs? Saying if the Mavs don't make the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, I'm rooting for them. If they make the playoffs against the Thunder, I am rooting for the Mavericks heavily. Don't get it twisted, guys. I know you guys call me slightly Thunder, but don't get it twisted. If they make the playoffs and are playing the Thunder, I am rooting for the Mavericks. Somebody sent me this. Why the fuck do I have this guy blocked? Somebody sent me this, and I kind of want to talk about it, actually. Is this a weird thing to talk about? To end the stream off on? The Pat McAfee guy? I'm here. I am here for some Pat McAfee slander. Because we briefly talked about this when it happened. Just how fucking strange and bizarre it was. That not only, take the fact Pat McAfee is 40-something years old or whatever, however old he is, talking about a college girl. And just, the bizarreness of that. Why does it matter? A college girl potentially cheated on her girlfriend, her boyfriend. Who fucking cares? Who cares anyways? If it's a celebrity, whatever, I guess there's something to it. But who gives a shit No offense to this girl, but who gives a shit like what a random college girl is doing? Like, who fucking cares, right? How strange that is. But then add on to the fact that he had to go on the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN, to talk about it. It's one of the most strange, bizarre things. You're like, what the hell's going on? Well, there's added context to this story, right? Now there's a lawsuit. Now there's a lawsuit. Why do I have this guy blocked? Who is Colin Rugg? I honestly have no idea who Colin Rugg is. 1.8 million. Mavs fan with the 999. Just one more question. I expect PJ to take a leap in shot creation and playmaking, but seems like he reached his ceiling. Why is Najee so much better at it? And is PJ a core guy in this rebuild? I think PJ is a core guy, yeah. Najee's just a shifty player. And he has a killer floater and is a sneaky good ball handler and has always been a good playmaker in his career. PJ's more of a, catch and shoot guy, attack mismatches, post up guy. So I don't know how much realistic development you can expect from PJ offensively. We've already seen a good amount, actually, in the last year. Yeah, Cybertruck banner is all I needed to see. So then I know why I blocked him. I don't know what tweet caused it. I wish you could see, like, you blocked him after this tweet. I'd be like, oh, okay. But anyways, he tweeted this out, and here's a long story. Ole Miss freshman, and like I know I'm contradicting because I'm like, who gives a shit about what a college age girl's doing, and I still stand on that. What I'm now shitting on and talking about is Pat McAfee's involvement in this, and ESPN, dog shit ass network, horrible network, pathetically bad network. If I were in charge, it wouldn't be a bad network. It'd be a great network. It would be back to where ESPN needed to be. Make ESPN great again. It's time for the golden age of ESPN. I'd be putting tariffs on every other sports network. But unfortunately, I'm not in charge. And they're floundering. I mean, it's embarrassing what they've got going on over there. It is. Is reportedly considering legal action after the rumor went viral, trending number 1 at one point on X. Do not consider legal action. Sue. They will settle with you. Okay? If I'm not a legal person, but I'll tell you right now, ESPN will settle with you in a heartbeat. ESPN does not want that shit. The ESPN will settle with you so quickly if you sue them. Rugg is a MAGA Twitter guy, right-wing news. Okay, is there another source for this though? Like, I don't really give a shit about this guy. Is this like? I mean, she's giving
telling you disgusting things, telling you to kill yourself, telling you that you're a horrible person, that you deserve to die. That's a really hard thing for a girl to go through.
In her first TV interview, Ole Miss freshman Mary Kate Cornett told me how she became famous on the internet and social media in the worst possible way. In February, an online rumor went viral, claiming an Ole Miss sorority sister slept with her boyfriend's father. Then, someone attached Cornett's name and photo to it. Do you know why the rumor started?
No clue. No clue. I had zero.
Wait. Yik Yak's still a thing? Wow. I didn't know Yik Yak still existed. Wait, what's happening? Did Pat McAfee sleep with his son's daughter? Okay. So the story, and why this story is so fucking stupid to me, right, is no, Pat McAfee's not involved with this in any way, shape, or form. Okay? There was this stupid-ass rumor going around that started, I guess, on Yik Yak, but I thought it started on, Burner Twitter. If you're not aware of what Twitter's got going on, there's a side of it called Burner Twitter, where it's just like college kids with burners, and they're just tweeting like insane shit. Like, seriously, insane stuff. That is going around that this girl cheated on her boyfriend with the boyfriend's dad, right? So, whatever. Gained a lot of traction on Twitter, whatever. The story really takes, in my mind, a bizarre turn of events when Barstool picked it up. That's to be expected. That's a trash organization. That's to be expected, Barstool picking that up, right? It took a weird turn when Pat McAfee went on ESPN's flagship show. What do you think's a more popular show? This actually, do we think First Take is more popular, or do we think Pat McAfee show is more popular at this point? I think it might be kind of close, but we'll just say Pat McAfee's the second most popular show on ESPN. It's noon slot, like right in the middle of the day, big time slot in the schedule, and talked about this during the draft combine, the NFL draft combine, mind you. Randomly talked about this story. And there's no, like, I would kind of maybe get it if there's like a sports player involved or like an athlete involved or something involved where you can kind of just be like, okay, like, all right, it's weird talking about shit like this, but okay. This is a random ass college girl. No ties to anybody. And Pat McAfee was like, I'm going to talk about this on ESPN in the middle of the day. "19-year-old Mary Kate Cornett is reportedly considering legal action. Don't consider, just do it." I don't even have a law degree. I'm not, I'm not a lawyer, but I'll represent you. Let's force this settlement. Cornett says her life is ruined after a fake allegation randomly went viral throughout the internet, racking up hundreds of millions of views. Jesus Christ almighty. The rumor started on the anonymous messaging app Yik Yak. Still can't believe Yik Yak exists. That someone named Mary Kate was sleeping with her boyfriend's father. People then started connecting the written claim on the app with her image, which eventually made its way to other social media apps. Cornett is reportedly considering legal action against ESPN's Pat McAfee for talking about the story. Peace out, everyone. This has affected me in such an awful way and has particularly ruined my life, practically ruined my life. McAfee never once reached out to me to ask if this was true or for me to give any sort of statement to him. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that an ESPN sports broadcaster would be talking about a 19-year-old girl's sex scandal that was completely false. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at this shit show that it's ensuing. I feel very bad for this person, right? Jesus Christ. There's actually a worse story. I tweeted this out. There was a The Athletic. How do you guys like this? The Athletic tweeted out or posted an article about this whole thing, going deep into it. It is pretty fucked up, man. Like, really kind of sad. It's just, it kind of goes beyond Pat McAfee. Like, what on earth are you doing talking about this on your show? But also the scary side of social media, the stuff people say to you, and you don't really think about it. Probably Pat's secret side piece and he was mad. No, dude. That's not what it was. Let me tell you what it was. This was like a funny little bro thing. Like, bro, dude, did you hear that story about that girl at Ole Miss? Holy shit, bro. Like, this is fucking sick. We need to talk about this on ESPN. Like, we got to make sure we squeeze this into the show on ESPN. That's what it was. It was like funny little bro humor. Barstool bro hive mind. I mean, I don't like. If you're 24 years old and you give a shit about something like this, dude, look in the mirror. I got to be honest with you. Dude, look in the mirror and come to grips with reality. Okay? Look in the mirror and come to grips with yourself. You need to find some spiritual healing. Okay? If you are over the age of 24 and this story caught your attention, you're like, dude, this is a great story. I need to follow this. I need updates on this. I need to hear what Pat McAfee has to say about it at noon tomorrow on ESPN. Then please come to peace. Please find God. I don't care which God. Find one. Okay? Like, Jesus. If you're mentioning KFC, we shouldn't forget about when he cheated on his pregnant wife and then asked for privacy. Who's KFC? Pat never said her name and told people to check their sources. It's probably true. You see what I'm saying? Who is this fucking freako? Who are you, you freak? Born in 89. Please come to grips with the reality. Please come to grips with the reality. Please come to grips with the reality. You're about to be 40 years old. You're about to be 40 years old. Hashtag horse racing. You're a degenerate. You are a degenerate. Come to grips with reality. Irony, the Athletic names the person involved when McAfee did not. Come to grips with reality. Come to grips. Funny how you failed to mention the multiple times Pat and crew both said, not sure how sure this is. It needs to be fact checked. Never once mentioned my name. Rutgers grad, filmmaker, executive producer. Come to grips with reality. How are people defending this? Oh my God. Gridiron goon. So this type of shit. So watch Pat's entire show. Didn't know her name until y'all posted it. Dude. So they didn't mention the name. But if you were following the situation, you knew exactly who they were talking about. And then also, if you didn't know, you heard who they were talking about. And then you went and looked. And then you found out who they were talking about. Has it actually been proven to not be true? Dude, who gives a shit either way? Thank you, Big Tony. I mean, Big Tony's come to grips with reality here. I see what everyone is saying about how she didn't get mentioned by name. Thing is, we all knew who he was talking about anyway, so that really doesn't matter. Hope she gets millions. Thank you, Big Tony. Jesus, man. Finally. Who is KFC? Would be great if KFC, Jack Mac, and McAfee all get fired. Who are these people? I guess I have this just ignorant, like this beautiful sort of innocence about me that I don't know who KFC is. KFC. Oh, this guy. Okay, I do recall this guy. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, who's Big Mac? Big Mac. Surely this can't be this person. Imagine throwing away a golden ticket just for a raunchy laugh with the boys. No, nothing's going to happen from this, right? If they do end up suing McAfee, ESPN will just settle this. It'll be that. And this is to be expected out of Barstool, honest to God. Like how is Barstool not constantly in lawsuits? I'm not sure. Who's Jack Mac? Oh, this person. Oh, I have this person blocked. Oh. That's hilarious. That is really funny. What did this guy do? I missed this part of the story. So this is actually really interesting because once you get past all of the blue check mark, maybe bot responses, then you get to like the real people. And I know I have a blue check mark because here's the thing. Like Twitter makes money off of me. They advertise under my tweets. So you're damn right. I'm going to get fucking paid. And is it a small amount? It is. But bring me my money. Like I'm not letting you advertise under my shit for free, really, is essentially. If she's really smart, she won't take any settlement unless it's a ridiculous amount because that's an easy win in court. No, they'll settle for a ridiculous amount. They will settle for life-altering money, if I had to guess. Love Pat, huge fan for a while, still am. I was taken aback when you addressed this since he and the guys are dads. There wasn't a single trustworthy source talking about it. We can't hide behind the allegedly bit. That worked for far because it was a verified news story. That was one of the things here that made me sick to my stomach a little bit. At the end of this article in The Athletic. they mention how Pat McAfee has a daughter and openly talks about how much of a softie he's become since he's had a daughter, and then would talk about some shit like this on air. Like, is that not disgusting, man? Like, I don't get it, dude. Do you guys not have, like, women in your lives? Like, your mother, your sister, your significant other? Like, I'm just trying to put yourself in those in those shoes. Like, it's just sickening to me. It's different if this, and I still think this would be a problem, but it's different if this person were an actual public figure. Like, that's different. When you're a public figure, you put yourself out there, you're in the light, it is what it is. Okay, like, that's just sort of the nature of the business, as fucked up as it is. But, like, this is a random college girl. Like, it's just insane to me that this happened on ESPN. It should be a big story. It should be a big story. Dude, are these people actually stupid? Dude, AI pictures are the worst thing that's ever happened. He didn't say anything was factual or claimed to have inside scoop. He was reacting to what was being said online. I mean, that almost makes it worse, in my opinion. Like, I still think if this were a proven factual story, whatever the fuck that means, if this were a proven factual story, this would still be a weird thing to talk about on ESPN. Because it's just like, what are we doing? What are we talking about here? Okay? Like, what are we talking? If this were a real factual story with proof or whatever, okay. But like, what? Why are we talking about this on ESPN exactly? What are we getting at? But also, it wasn't a real story. So that makes it worse. It makes it worse to be like, well, he said he wasn't sure it's true. Then why in the fuck are you talking about it? It was because Jackson Dart went to Ole Miss. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. You have to watch the clip to understand. I've seen the clip. I still don't understand it. Like, I don't get, like, was there not somebody on the show who's like, hey, whoa, come on. No. Let's not talk about this. It's just so funny to me. I mean, this becoming a thing on Twitter is to be expected, right? But look at this. Typos in the New York Times. What is this account? What is this account? Is that Thunder? Uh-oh. ESPN, this whole shit show of a story is so redundant. Like, I feel so bad for the girl because now the situation has been fully exposed. I mean, it's just so dumb, dude. And I'm going to be real with you. I do get the appeal of Pat McAfee. I actually do. But it's dumb shit like this where it's just like ESPN has put all their eggs in this basket. It's just a sign of ESPN's downfall is really what it is. It has, like, we can go beyond whether Pat McAfee should be talking about this. Like, here's the reality. If Pat McAfee was on ESPN and was doing this on his YouTube show still, I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't give a shit, really. Like, I'd be like, that's so fucking dumb, but whatever. I don't care. The fact that it was on ESPN, it's just like, it's a sad, sad sign of the times. It really is. It's a sad sign of the times. Like, not that ESPN was ever perfect. You know, they're a 24-hour, endless, 24/7 channel network. Like, there's going to be stuff that's duds on the channel, right? But my God, it's just turned into such a stinky, heaping pile of shit. Like, it just has. It's so terrible now. They have Stephen A. Smith, their entire network. The personality has become more important than the sports. That was issue number one. And they're trying to recreate Stephen A. Smith, who's a once-in-a-lifetime character. Stephen A. Smith is a lightning in a bottle, generational superstar. He is. Like, let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. He is a generational superstar. You can't replicate that guy. And they try to do it. They try to turn everybody into their network as Stephen A. Smith. That's why bumbling Kendrick Perkins. I mean, he just mumbles and rambles, and we don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. But they're trying to turn him into Stephen A. Smith. And they realized that we can't do this, so let's bring in Pat McAfee. I mean, they got rid of everybody so they could pay Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee. There's no good sports networks right now. There's none. They're in this weird limbo period. And sports networks might just be done. Like, it just might be a model that can't work anymore. Because YouTube, you could realistically, you can go wherever you want. You don't need to watch SportsCenter anymore. Like, the SportsCenter was a thing back before the internet, really, where if you want to know what happened in the world of sports, you had to watch SportsCenter. Like, if you wanted to know what happened, like, did Portland beat did the Portland Trailblazers beat the Sacramento Kings? I don't know. I'd have to watch SportsCenter tomorrow morning to find out. Now you don't really need to do that. Now you really don't even need, like, you can go on YouTube and watch whatever you want. You know what I mean? So, like, the sports network itself might be a thing that doesn't exist anymore. Like, it just might not be something that makes sense in the state of the league is all you need. True. It might not be something that makes sense in today's like media market. And ESPN realizes that, and instead of doing what they probably should be doing, which is we're just going to shift the focus purely to sports. Let's work with these leagues. Like, maybe we can figure out, all right, baseball, they play day games. So let's try to figure out, hey, MLB, one day game a day, and we'll put it on ESPN. Hey, NBA, let's make sure we want a game every other night. Maybe we could NHL game we're just going pure. We're leaning purely into sports. That's what people want to fucking see. No. I watch every episode of State of the League since you went on there. Great show. Yeah, I love their podcast. It's hilarious. We'll see how this all goes. But this is a sign of just the dying nature of ESPN. That it is just, it's turned into this, I don't even know what you would call it. A monstrosity for sure. We didn't talk about tanking. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I'll take that out the title. Whenever I'm making titles, I'm just kind of like, what do I think I'm going to talk about? I want at least one or two things I absolutely want to talk about. But if we don't get to the other stuff, we don't get to the other stuff. All right, folks, I'll be live tonight, 9:30. Although it does sound like the Mavs might be punting this game. Either way, I'll be live, I guess, 9:30. Quick Final Four predictions. Duke and... Let's go Duke and Florida. That'd be a good national championship. Duke and Florida with Duke winning it all. Rangers on Apple TV tonight. So I can't watch them on Victory Plus? I have to now watch them on Apple? Is that what you're telling me? Bring back cable. 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 Thank you all for coming out. All the OGs, guys, I love you very much. Oh, if you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. But thank you all for coming out. All of the OGs, guys, I love you very much. Could have spent your Friday morning anywhere in the world. You decide to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, you guys never have to do that. Helps you out tremendously. Makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. You guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe. I will be live on playback.tv/slightlybiased tonight and tomorrow night. We'll be back here on Monday morning. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I love you all. I will chat with you all later. Bye.